Okay, I'll take a stab at this. I might have to do this a couple times.
That's fine.
It's a tricky question.
Yeah.
But it's a good one though. I think one of the big things that I've realized is that students, when they're, especially at a place like a university, for example, especially in their younger years, they think for some reason that they're not good enough or they're not worthy of consideration, or they don't have that it factor, and they think that at university you just magically figure it out, and the day you graduate, the moment you cross that stage, you'll have figured it out and that switch will be flipped and you'll go into the working world and it'll be perfect. That's not how it is. You don't need to wait until you've, say, entered the workforce or graduated to make a difference in the world. So there's first years here at UBC who are running their own companies. There's people who are working for startups in the summer and all that sort of stuff. And so I think students while they're at university, they spend a lot of time trying to discover who they are, and they join different clubs, different courses that they take and all that. But I think they have this mindset that like university is just like the tip of the iceberg, and that once you cross that stage, once you graduate, it'll somehow work and you'll figure it out and your future will just become magically perfect. But the reality is that students don't have to wait until they graduate to make a difference. So whether that's working for a startup, launching your own company, doing something amazing with a club, I think what I've realized as an individual in terms of personal growth is that the things that we are capable of as students, we're still students who are in school, but as individuals, we're capable of amazing things. I think entrepreneurship is one of those things where if you're really passionate about seeing a change come to life in the world, this is the place for you. So one of the cool things we like to talk about is impact. That's the cool thing with entrepreneurship, in that impact is how you measure the success of what you're doing. One of the things we like to stress is the degree of behavioral change that we're invoking in human beings on a day-to-day basis. So for example, that could be anything from like more efficient workplace communication, running better meetings, getting more access to the news, whatever it is, but you're changing the way that people are fundamentally doing things on a day-to-day basis. And that's the wicked thing about entrepreneurship, is that like through a startup or an app or whatever it is, you're able to invoke that degree of change, and that's the biggest indicator of success, if you can change the way that people do things on a day-to-day basis. Disrupting the status quo, because that's what entrepreneurship is all about, not accepting things for what they are, but always looking for a better way to do things, because you don't take no for an answer. Clubs like eProjects and entrepreneurship as a concept in general, it's thinking big, thinking bigger than you think. Taste of Entrepreneurship, which was our event that we held at Hootsuite. There was like this vibe in the room and just like this buzz of like energy that I don't think I've ever felt at like many other events. It was just like magic was happening, like left, right, center. Like there was all these amazing, insightful conversations happening rather than like stupid small talk and like, oh, what program are you in? How's the weather? Like all that stupid stuff was just out the door, and it was like real meaningful conversations between students and local entrepreneurs. And that's where magic happens, like, because students don't get those opportunities, but they should get them more often. I think the biggest switch in my mindset that's happened in the last 2 years is going from like, okay, why to why not? We kind of tossed around the idea of like, hey, like, we're doing this at Hootsuite. What if like Ryan Holmes could like give a talk, or if he could attend? And we kind of like, I think jokingly laughed it off, because we were like, oh, there's no way Ryan Holmes would do that. And so I remember I emailed his executive assistant, almost like half jokingly, but being like, hey, like if Ryan is available, we'd love to have him come. And I thought she would just kind of laugh it off and be like, haha, like, yeah, good luck, like he's a pretty busy guy. But little did I know, and then she responds within a couple of days, and she says, oh, okay, Ryan would love to do like a fireside chat like for the event and talk to your students. And I was just like, I was so blown away, and initially I was like, holy crap, like we got Ryan Holmes. But then you go back and think about it, and again, like you're like, why not? Like, why wouldn't that be achievable? It's like the single best decision I've ever made at university was joining eProjects, because I got to work with an amazing group of people. I got to do some outrageously crazy things that I don't think any of us could have ever imagined to be possible. And it's just been a phenomenal year, and I almost wish that I could delay my graduation by 1 year and just do it again and do even crazier things. You hear about startup culture and all that sort of stuff, you read about it, and it's like, yeah, that's how it actually is. They work in these cool places, the people are awesome. But I think the biggest pull for me was the culture that I saw within the eProjects team itself. I've been to a lot of club events, I've seen a lot of how the team dynamic is and all that sort of stuff. the one thing that stood out for eProjects, with eProjects for me was that it felt like a family. It was like this group of like, loving, like-minded people who were passionate about, startups and entrepreneurship and who were doing some amazing things like as a club, as an organization. And that's why I just fell in love with this club, and I just like, I tell all my friends like, this is the place to be, man, like cool events, like the people are amazing, and like, I'm just so glad that I've taken part in it.